right, quiz time, but you know me. This is nice and low pressure, not for points. We're just going to practice our knowledge of hyperbolas. So if you need to grab a pencil and a piece of paper, take a second and do that. You need a piece of paper and a pencil, and it can just be scratch paper. You're not turning this in. This is just for your own good. All right, do you have a paper and a pencil? All right, let's do this. All right, so our first equation is y squared over 9 minus x squared over 4 equals 1. And I have 5 questions. We're going to go through these one at a time, and I'll pause while you take a minute to think about the answers. Okay, so number 1, how will this open? A, up and down, or B, left and right? So for number 1, hopefully you chose A because y squared is the positive part. This hyperbola, the parabolas that make up this hyperbola will open upward and downward. All right, number 2, what's the length of the transverse axis? Remember, the transverse axis connects your vertices. So how long is it from vertex to vertex? Or how much distance is it from vertex to vertex? 2, 3, 6, 4, or 9? So if you guessed C, 6, then you were correct. So looking at this equation, our center is going to be at 0, 0. There's no shift left or right, no shift up or down. And then the square root of 9 is 3. So that means that from the center point, I'm going to go up 3 and I'm going to go down 3. Those are where my vertices will lay. And then making the length of the transverse axis, 3 plus 3, or 6. So correct answer number 2 is C, 6. All right, and then we just talked about where are the vertices. I'm going to let you choose number 3. And the correct answer for number 3 is C. So remember, we talked about no shifts left or right, no shifts up or down. So right from the origin, we're just going to open up at up 3 and down 3. So the correct answer is C, over 0, down 3, over 0, up 3. All right, number 4, what's the value of C? So remember that A, B, and C form a Pythagorean relationship. A squared plus B squared is equal to C squared. So what is the value of C? And if you guessed C again, the square root of 13 is C. 9 plus 4 is 13, and then take the square root of that. All right, and then last question, what's the equation of the asymptotes, or what are the equations of the asymptotes? Take a look at number 5. So again, because we don't have any shifts left or right or up or down, these asymptotes will be really easy to write. The correct answer for number 5 is B, because the vertical movement will be the square root of 9. The change in y will be the square root of 9, so 3. And then the horizontal movement will be the square root of 4, or change in x is 2. So correct answer is B. Y equals plus or minus 3 over 2 times x. All right, so how did you do on 1 through 5? Why don't you go ahead and number from 6 to 10, more multiple choice questions. All right, so I'm going to give you a second to look at the equation. X minus 3 quantity squared over 1 minus y plus 2 quantity squared over 4 equals 1. Take a look at 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10, and I'm going to give you about 2 minutes to answer those 5. How are you doing? I'm still here. I hope you are too. All right, give it about 10 more seconds. Okay, so for number 6, did you answer B, left and right? X squared is positive, so that means that it's going to be opening to the left and to the right. Number 7, did you answer A? The length of the transverse axis, remember, is the distance from vertex to vertex. So from the center, you're going to go to the left one and to the right one. 1 plus 1 would give you 2. For the center point, that was hopefully pretty easy for you to figure out. The correct answer was A. We would go right 3 and down 2. And then that will help us also figure out where our vertices are. I realized I have a typo. I should have given you, sets of 2 vertices. So really, I guess what I'm saying is, what's the location of the rightmost vertex? So anyway, I need to be somewhere at 3, -2. All of these look like, well, that's a 3 and a -2. That's a 3 and a -2. This is not, and that is not. So don't choose C or D. All right, but then for the vertex, how much do I go left or right? I go left or right the square root of 1, which is just 1. So the correct answer is A, 3 plus 1, comma, -2. Now I also should have included 3 plus or 3 minus 1, comma, -2. I should have gone to the right and to the left, but I forgot that. Sorry, guys. So correct answer for number 9 is A. And again, that's going to be your rightmost vertex. All right, and then lastly, number 10, how are you doing with asymptotes? So I want something with -3 and a +2. Yep, all of these look good. Remember that your slope will be change in y over change in x. So the change in y will be the square root of 4, which is 2. And so it looks like I want to do choice B over the change in x, which would be the square root of 1, which would be 1. Yep, that still matches up nicely here for choice B. So B is the correct answer because it includes my center point, -3, +2, or really a shift to the right 3 and down 2. And then my asymptotes slopes will be +2 over 1 and -2 over 1. So that's it for number 10. Okay, now the last question on this quiz, I'm not going to be able to show you as much as I wished I could because I think that if I make it any smaller, it's going to be too hard for you to see. So I think that's as small as I'm going to go. What you have to do here is I've given you 3 equations and you have to match 3 graphs. Okay, but you can only see 2 graphs at a time if I'm going to allow you to look at the equations. So I don't know. Let's just do this. Look at these 3 equations and then find a match for A and B. So I'm going to give you a couple minutes to think about that. And I think I'm going to have to sneeze. Oh, it passed. All right, match them up. So for these, I really just use the process of elimination. So I started with number 1, and I know that the center for number 1 is going to be right 1, down 3. And if I look at B and I go right 1 and down 3, yeah, that looks like a good center point. That seems to be the center of these 2 parabolas on this hyperbola. And then I'm opening to the left and to the right. So x squared has to be positive, which it is. So that's good. And then my horizontal movement would be 2. Square root of 4 is 2. So from my center at over 1, down 3, go 2 to the right, go 2 to the left. Yep. Okay. Number 1 is B. Now, number 2, my center would be at -3, +1, and I'm opening up and down. I think we're onto something there. Go left 3 and up 1. Go up 3 more, 1, 2, 3. Yep, there's a vertex. And then back to the center, go down, 1, 2, 3. Yep, I think that's another vertex. So I would choose number 2 as A. Okay, I'm going to scroll down to number 3. Hopefully for number 3, my center, just a sec. My center would be at -5, -2. Yep, -5, -2. That looks like a center point for sure. And then opening to the right and left. Yep, opens left and right. From my center, square root of 36 would be 6. So can I go left and right 6 from my center? -5, -2. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 hops to the left. Yep, 6 hops to the right. It's all good. So number 3 was C. So, how do you feel about that? How are you doing on hyperbolas? So, it seems like kind of a weird concept, but really think about, standard form is our friend. We can find everything we need. What's positive tells you the direction of the opening. The center comes from these, think translation rules. How much you should go up or down, left or right will be the square root of whatever's underneath that x squared or y squared, depending on the opening. And then you know how to find the asymptotes, or like you could write an equation, but when we're graphing, I'm not going to be too super specific about where your asymptotes are. I'm really more going to look at, can you plot the center, and then can you plot some vertices. Okay, so that's all I have to say about that. I have a Kahoot game that I want you to do. I think there's 8 or 10 questions on the Kahoot. When everybody's done playing Kahoot, I get a spreadsheet with all of your scores, so I'll know how you're doing. Please use a name that I'll know is you. So, again, I get a kick out of what you guys choose as your names. I love Danger Noodle. I think that's hilarious. But I don't know who Danger Noodle is. Well, I do now. But anyway, use a name when you're playing Kahoot that I can at least think, oh, that's probably so and so. All right, guys, have a great afternoon or rest of your day. And I look forward to talking to you tomorrow. Thanks, guys. Bye.